Yo, what up, YouTube? I wasn't planning on making this video, man. But I'm gonna just read you some things I was thinking about, man. This is the type of stuff and you guys, the things that I bring up. Notice how I don't really deal with conspiracy theories, somebody drink blood. I don't care about none of that. I like to look at simple things that are extreme. All right. Some of you guys will need to hear this more than once. I know a lot of you guys just once through my shit, man. I'm telling you, man, I dropping diamonds, man. But I want to ask you something. Hold on, let me turn this joint. All right. How many tomatoes, all right? How many tomatoes get bought at the store? Like every single day, how many tomatoes get bought? Right? We don't know, but a lot, right? And how does a store never run out of tomatoes or onions? And how does every store never run out of such foods? How do they never run out? Even if in some rare case, some super center runs out of something, you could go to the next available store and they'll have it. How is that possible? How many tomatoes can you fit on a semi truck in comparison to customers who each want one tomato in a day? If you deal with traffic, think of all them people in traffic. They all go to the store sometime. The store never run out of tomatoes, right? How large is the bin with the tomatoes, and how many extra tomatoes take up the space in the back room? This is not to mention when you go buy ketchup or even barbecue sauce that had tomatoes in it. All the products with tomatoes in it. That's just tomatoes. How many tomato patches have you seen? How many growers of onions or celery or anything you see in the produce section, how many of those does it take to fill up all them stores? Right? Now, hypothetically, I get like maybe they transport it, but how many trucks with just that product on it goes to that store? Like it kind of doesn't add up. I know it seems rudimentary, but it kind of doesn't add up. Think about that. We are either talking about the preservation of foods in stores, which may be a little bit better or higher than at homes, or there is no way a store runs out of tomatoes. Do foods last longer? Like produce, does it last longer in a grocery store than when you buy it and you take it to your house? It lasts about 3 or 4 days, but at the grocery store, that joint be there for like over a week to where they can replenish and stack things up. Is there some type of supernatural power with the store? I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna let you get there on your own, and you guys are probably not catching it yet. This is high. This is high stuff, man. All right, let me ask you this, man. How many airplanes are there at the airport? How many airports are there? How many airplanes and jets are on military bases? How many satellites are in space for the internet and surveillance? Would you say that there are more satellites than airplanes? Are there? Wouldn't there be? Natively, you would think so. Would you say there are more satellites than airplanes? For me, I would assume there would be more satellites. Then how come we do not see many more satellites blasted into space on a daily basis? I mean, it's got to get to space, so it's got to be like a rocket or something, right? We don't see those shooting up all day, right? Think about it. How come we don't see satellites blasted into space? Like we never seen it happen. Not once. They show rockets going into space, but they won't show a satellite going into space. That wouldn't be interesting, right? So how come we don't see that blasted up? on a daily basis? How many days do you go without seeing a single airplane or even hearing one? How many days do you see an airplane in the sky or you hear an airplane? I don't. I never hear them. I never see them in the sky. Like once, maybe once or twice a month. Maybe, right? So that's kind of strange. All of these planes and none never crash into each other ever. All those airplanes and jets from the military, they never fly them, they never do training. Um, all those airplanes you see at the airport, and they never had one collision, right? All these planes and none never crash into each other. Never. If they crash, but not like cars. Never. They'll crash into a mountain or a hill or something. But they never crash into each other. That's kind of strange. So it's kind of like there's zero accidents. And what world with humans are there zero accidents? Considering the people you personally know, your coworkers and all that. How many businesses do you see in your city? How many businesses survived COVID? How hard is it to open and establish a business? Would you say that that's a little bit higher than normal competency of a human being, all the paperwork and everything? Yeah, but look at how many businesses there are, right? There's a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses, little small shops and things like that you ain't never seen or heard before, and it's just all throughout the city, right? And you never see no advertisements, but they could still stay afloat somehow. They have some type of target audience. How? Right? So if you don't see any advertisement from these businesses and they survive COVID, how many people you know go to these businesses for it to still stay relevant during COVID? Like, how many of your neighbors or something like that are your coworkers? How many jobs are there and how many jobs are available to you? In any kind of way, if that job is available to you, how many jobs are available to you? And who gets those jobs that are unavailable? Like you may type in a job search and it'll be like 2,000 jobs, right? How come you only have access to a few jobs when you go to their website? The direct website, not the one that they're advertising online. Look at the amount of lies that we accept as normal that we don't pay attention to. This is what God is talking about, right? How many niggas work at places you never ever heard of before? And yet who you are, and yet who you are around are several niggas that work at businesses you have, but outside of work, most niggas have job titles in businesses that would not attract a large enough target audience and a superflowers title no one's ever heard of before. So when you were at work with other coworkers, yeah, they've worked at the local factory or the plant down this way or that common, chain store or that chain store. But how many businesses that are not just big chain stores, right? And these people always got these titles like CEO or something like that, financial advisor. Where are these businesses, right? Those are the people you meet outside of your work, right? Let's go on. Why are so many niggas off work at any given time? You ever notice that? Nobody's really working. It's crowded on the streets Monday through Friday, right? Think about that. How much do new cars cost? And how many niggas is driving a $50,000 car that are in your neighborhood? How are they in your neighborhood with that kind of car? How does that work? And not attract the attention of feds or even the government. How are you always outcast, but how are you always outcast, but the most normal in an environment? How is that? How are they not outcasts and are not normal, but trying to be, but hate you? How do they share the same mind unless their mind has some centralized system, like a computer or something, right? How many niggas died of COVID? How many niggas you know directly died of that shit? How many people do you personally know that died of COVID? Riddle me that. How many people do you personally know out of your entire life that you heard died of COVID? I mean, I'm just showing you shit that don't add up, man. Right? And where are the bodies to match these massive numbers? And why are the stores more crowded than ever? The gyms are more crowded than ever. People more healthier than ever. So if you lived in your city a minute, how many new faces have you seen since COVID? How come you hardly see the same people in the same town in familiar places? You're always seeing new faces of people you've never seen before, but you're very familiar to your surroundings. That doesn't add up, right? And there are so many new 20-something-year-olds. They are all young. They have perfect teeth and nice hair, no scars or look of any aging, like they came right off the lot. Missing instant T. These two are fake T. It's like they ain't never been through nothing, right? Kind of interesting, don't you think? How many people know your business and how much of your business is worth knowing? And if your business, which is not worth knowing, is known, how many facts and other pertinent knowledge can they consciously hold simultaneously? If they know so much about you to say something so specific or precise to trigger you, how much other information can they really have on their mind? And how does that discernment that they have that they don't have measure up the conversations that they typically have about sports, the weather? It's a little bit deep for them to say something such a way, right? It's nearly impossible. We might call it spirits of witchcraft, but maybe there are clones that are run off a centralized computer. That's the only way. Your information tied into what you watch, when you go on this internet, the apps that you use, all that metadata going into a supercomputer somewhere, fallen angel technology that's linked to people's minds and brains. What is the bondage that we're born in? The Bible talks about it. The way of your mind. Okay, hold on. It is as if you are a baseball card with stats, but humans don't communicate with commoners about stats. That's a sports thing. That's a smokescreen for human communication. Get by topics. That's why the depth of your mind is abhorred, because it is beyond common conversational range, or about a history that does not exist with that individual. Maybe they've been around, but they haven't been around as a human. It's going to be hard for them to relate to you about anything you talk about. That would make you kind of peculiar. That would make them kind of not. You would kind of be able to see that. Therefore, they might do things to study you. So they feel awkward and they want to know you to feel more normal. Now, why does the new normal want to study you to understand the old normal? These This is called quickness of the. This is discernment, you guys. This is very fast. I promise you, if you slept through this, you need to watch this like 20 times. I ain't lying. It will quicken your mind. I'm talking about a lot here. And I ain't going to be making too many videos. I didn't want to put this up. The Father put it on my heart too. All right. How many people know your business? How much of your business is worth knowing? Some of you targets, man, is sleep. You cannot be truly targeted because only you can target knowing what's normal. Therefore, it is not a question of normalcy, but a question of what is normal. And if we do not know what normal is, then why would the new normal become a viral sensation unless they didn't know the old normal? So when they speak new. And in their newness, what they have studied of that which is old, but they have no history like you. So when they laugh at you, they do not truly laugh, but study. That's why when this happens, do you say, are you feeling okay? If someone starts like, you know how they do, they laugh or they kind of look away, say, hey man, like, are you feeling all right? Right? This is confusion. It's confusion for them, but for you, it is loving your neighbor. The principles under Christ are the same. They don't change no matter who it is. You ask them if they're feeling okay. You say it out of concern. You let them know this is not normal behavior. They don't know that. That's why they do that. They can't be intimidated of you and mock you at the same time. This shows you something that is alien to that which is human. This is quickness. Y'all ain't gonna get it the first time. I guarantee you. Most people will need to at least watch this about probably 3 to 5 times. Let these simple things sink in. Let me ask you something. On your suggested feed, how many people are suggested that are from your own city, and how many people live in your city, and how come you've never seen one video from a person from your own city? We all get the internet, but the internet we get ain't the same. Different companies and things like that, it's like they narrate your role because those who are not connected to that centralized system, that chip, you're spoon feeding the media. What does people go home and watch the news while they eat and hear about homicides and shit? How does somebody kill 30 people as some type of serial killer and not get arrested by the police or the FBI and get away with it? While me just driving because I'm black, I've even been stopped while I was parked. To get away, to have the idea of theft would be a luxury for me. They would stop me before I do it. But someone can get away with 30 murders. How does crime get organized? And what do we mean order out of chaos? Order out of chaos. Can you organize chaos? It's an oxymoron. You can't, but consequently you can. You can organize chaos if a certain amount of chaos is allowed, which is the ideology that was sent in the purge. Not like you niggas that think a bunch of people gonna run in these streets and fuck up tax money that's from the government. Not gonna happen. Think, you guys, it's not a crime yet, but we're getting close to it. It's happening already. Y'all niggas is late. It's George Orwell, 1983. Y'all niggas is late. You can't even say certain shit on the internet that's pertinent to you and give your opinion without being shadow banned. And this is why I don't post any videos anymore, respectfully, because when you listen to my videos, the reason why you don't understand it or you only watch it once is because you don't have Christ. I guarantee you. And that's how quick I mean, you don't even know. I've been highly isolated, but I am cocky on that because I have exercised my mind to madness and back. And you know the things that stand out? Not the big things in the sky, the little crumbs. How is America have such a deficit but have that many airplanes? How much does it cost to make one airplane? Commercial. How much does it cost to make one jet? Commercial. My mother, when she worked for the IRS, had to take her own pen because they didn't have it. So it shows you the money that any government has is different than what is written on paper. We ain't got no damn deficit, nigga. We got a deficit on paper. But all countries know America can pay that shit and has that shit. And it ain't all man-made, so get your act right. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out.